All right, back again, another trade recap. Um, Unfortunately, another loss. Uh, yeah, look, I'm not gonna lie, it does suck a little bit. But lots of learning opportunities, and I think some refinement needs to take place. Plus, look, I'm not trying to make excuses necessarily, but I had worked the last couple of days, so I'm trying to trade like in the night when I've got work the next day, uh, not getting that much sleep, you know, trading the PM session when I sort of said to myself in the beginning of this I was going to trade only the AM session, so already sort of breaking my rules a bit there. So, and look, that's just being honest. And today's trade is a PM session trade, but I'll go ahead and play the video. So I totally forgot. Um, actually, before I play it, I sort of got in the trade and then I was like, oh, I've got to record. Like I didn't realize I wasn't recording. Uh, but basically, 3 a.m. here is 1 p.m. Right? It's 1 p.m. New York time. So unfortunately, I can't change it. I can't change it in TradeAway. It doesn't allow it. Like TradingView though, um, this was the other day. TradingView though, oh excuse me. Where am I? Oh here. Yes, this trade here. Let me just take this line off so it's not annoying me. Uh, Here, as you can see, you can set it to New York time, so it just makes it easier. I know where like 1 p.m. is, I know where 1:30 is, stuff like that. So, but this is what I was looking at. So the AM session today really didn't do a great deal. Okay, and I was looking at a potential setup. Let me zoom in so you guys can see. I was looking back in hindsight, and this is 9:30 here. Okay, and I was looking back at this price action, and I was going, oh my god. And then I saw this big drop here, and I was thinking, oh, I probably might have seen that as get short in this SIBI. So I may have even taken a loss potentially if I'd traded the AM session. But for the PM session, I saw that this was the daily high or the high intraday. So the AM session made the high of the day. I like it took it out over here, but this was the high of the day. When we started the PM session here. I marked out these two relative equal lows, okay, because that's pretty obvious just there. And this was a 15-minute low that it took out, 15-minute low, 15-minute high that it took out here. So, and as you can see, it took it out there. So this is the start of the PM session, and as you can see, from 1 o'clock, we have this big move here, right? Or not big move, but we have a quick sudden move here, and basically doesn't really retrace. Then we go into another leg of expansion. Expand up, 1, 2, 3 candles, look at that, boom. Take out that 15-minute high, and we have a bit of a retracement on this one, right? Then we have another leg of expansion. 1, 2, 3, 4 candles this time. And on that fifth candle there, which is a down close, we take out that high again. And then basically at 1:30, it does nothing. It literally just consolidates, and we'll see in the video. And then eventually it just sort of falls over, and I get stopped out here on this run here. Uh, and then it comes down to that fair value up there that it didn't retrace into here. Retraces into it there. Uh, Retracement, comes back down one more time, takes out the low, and then that is 3 o'clock just there, and then 3 to 4, it just goes straight up. Now, the Nasdaq was already like the Nasdaq was way up here. Like the PM session started, 1:30 started, and it was creating the high of the day on the Nasdaq. So there was a bit of a sort of SMT um, here with ES. Oh, excuse me. And I don't know. I didn't really see that, you know, really all that well. So yeah, look, I just wasn't seeing it too clearly today. And then when, like I said, when I was in the trade and I was going through this, I was going through this consolidation, basically just sort of getting beaten down in a sense. I was like, oh my God, like I almost wanted it to just stop me out so that I could be out of the trade. And look, I probably should have just closed the trade, to be honest. If it got near break even or if it was going to be a small loss, I should have just got out. I think actually, this trade I did actually close, but I still took a loss. But look, I'll play the trade and we'll speed it up. So as you can see here, like it looks good. From 1 p.m. it boom, like it runs up. No retracement just there, or like a little bit of retracement. Then runs up again, okay? Then we fill in the fair value gaps, that's all right. Then we run up again, okay? And then we go into this fair value gap here, drop down, and then we're looking like we're gonna run up again. And like I said, take out these relative equal highs. This was the high of the day. Oh, excuse me. This was the high of the day, but it didn't end up doing that. So I will speed it up. That was the little fair value gap that I entered in on. That was the larger one that it already dipped into, and I was like, okay, this is looking like it's just going to go straight up at the PM session or the start of the PM session. Unfortunately, it doesn't though. But I am going to speed this up because it's quite a long one, and as you've seen from the trading view chart, like this, well, this video is 38 minutes, but from the trading view chart, it just consolidates. So I may have to slow that down because the video's kind of like lagging a bit. Or it's like has like artifacts and stuff in it. But as you can see, yeah, just completely hovers around. It goes in profit a little bit. I'm in drawdown. Goes in profit a little bit. Goes in drawdown. And I've heard ICT, like I'm only sort of thinking about this now as I'm doing this video. I've heard ICT talk about sometimes he has time limits for his trades, and if it doesn't move in the next 3 minutes, like 3 1 minute candles, he's closing the trade kind of thing. Whether that's to do with macro times, and he's sort of basically saying it has to move in the next couple of minutes because the macro is going to make it move, or if it doesn't move, then I'm out. So maybe he means like that. I'm not too sure. I'll have to do some more study on that. But like, I'm not gonna lie, that was a bit scary there. That was looking like it was just gonna go boom. And then we have, something like that, and I go, oh great, it's just gonna go straight up, and then it basically does nothing. So it's I do move my stop here up one handle, I think it is. Okay, just there. I move my stop, so now I'm only going to lose 4 handles potentially. But I do believe I'll just skip ahead here because, like I said, I don't want this video to be crazy long. Try not to make these trade recaps crazy long. They don't really need to be long. I'll save the longer discussion for like sort of weekends and stuff when I'm doing a bit more of a in-depth review on my week for trading and what I learn and maybe some psychology and where the areas I need to focus on and stuff like that. So, and I'll try and refer back to the previous week in a sense. So on the weekend, like on this weekend, I'll do a video about what happened this week and what are some areas I can improve on and I need to work on for the next week, right? But then the weekend after, I should be doing a video and basically going, here's the areas I said I needed improvement in last week. Have I actually improved in those areas this week? Well, yes, I did this, and each and every single day I did this, so that's a tick there. Um, 3 out of the 5 days I did, I followed this part of my plan. So that's an improvement than, only one day or whatever it is, right? Whatever it is. One of the things I noted down the other day, though, was executing and like limit order at the fair value gap straight away. Like as soon as I see the fair value gap and okay, there, yeah, I exit at market just there, and I get out. So I think I exit at market there. It goes up a little bit and then comes down. So actually, in this scenario, it would have stopped me out for my full, four handles, or if I didn't move my stop to four handles, it would have been five. So in this scenario, it was a good idea to close the trade. And I guess in a sense, like you you do want to let your trade play out, ideally, but and like until you're proven wrong. But in a sense, like if you get out for a small loss, like there's other setups that are going to come, potentially in that same session. So it's like, okay, you saw it was sort of going against you. I'm just going to take the small loss now, and I'm just going to wait for the next setup, And if it doesn't come this session, then it doesn't come this session. So, but what I was saying before about like areas of improvement, like actually, because it's all well and good to write down like, oh, okay, I need to improve in this area. Okay, I need to improve on executing on a fair value gap with a limit order, not with a market order, not trying to time it as the candle drops in, because sometimes it can be very quick. And you've also got to account for spread. Now, ES is only one tick, but the candle, you might see it move into the fair value gap, but when you click buy, it's it's sprung back up. So now you're not entered in the fair value gap. You're entering above it. So now your stop isn't where it should be. Now, granted, it might only be one or two ticks, but a limit order at the fair value gap, just boom, put it in. Okay, that's an area of improvement. Okay, waiting for a liquidity to be taken out first. That's another area of improvement. Like, why am I not waiting until that liquidity is taken and then I start to look for the setup? You know what I mean? Now, for my model on this with ES, it's a 15-minute high, 15-minute liquidity, right? So as you can see here, this was a 15-minute high. We took it out here, okay? Why am I entering long? Now, granted, like, this is a very obvious sort of high that I was using as a draw. Okay, that's fine. But we just took out a 15-minute, like, high, So, potentially, like, I guess, why am I necessarily entering long? Okay, if I'm going to enter long, right, I'm entering long way up here. Like, wouldn't I want to wait for a retracement? Okay. So, you could wait for something like this down here. Okay. And then look for longs. Okay. Then look for a setup. Right. Now, I don't know, maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. Okay. Um, and it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, areas of improvement, a few areas to improve on for sure. Uh, but yeah, I'll show you while I've got this up. I'll show you the report. We're 49,905 now, so we're down $100 basically from our 50 that we obviously started with as a $50,000 account. We only lost $73 today. A little bit better, in hindsight, good actually closing the trade for a small loss and not letting it hit my full stop loss. But still lost nonetheless. And, could I have improved? Could I have seen where the draw was first? Could I have waited for a retracement at least first and then looked for a long going into the end of the day? Yes. Um, but, I mean, you got to also, well, I've also got to factor in that, I haven't really, it's been a while. I used to trade the PM session like pretty much exclusively. Um, but it's been a while since I've traded the PM session. And you do want to get a feel for it. Like you know, when you watch the PM session or you watch the AM session or you watch the London, it doesn't matter what session you watch, you start to get a feel for what it does. And, at these certain times, what does it do at these certain times? Oh, okay, it's consolidating in the first half an hour, from 1:30 to 2. Okay, it's consolidating. It's probably going to make a move at 2 then. Okay, well, which way is it going to go, right? Well, if it's going to go up, well, it's probably going to go against what it's been doing, okay, to try and trick traders short, or take traders who are long, take their stop out, who have trailed them up too quick, take them out and then run, you know. But these are all things to think about, These are all things to think about. There's a lot, you got to be thinking a lot when it comes to trading these markets. Like, you got to really be, you know, coming up with a trade idea where it should go, and then constantly, validating that. All right, this move here, this retracement here, what is it doing? Is it setting up a move to go long, or are we setting up a move to retrace and then continue lower, right? And you constantly ask yourself these questions, and each candle that prints, okay, what did it do? Is it validating that we're going to go short and going to go lower, or are we validating that yes, my idea is correct and we're going to go, up to the daily high target? So, but I'll probably leave it there. That's the last 2 days. Like I said, I was at work and I was trading before work, and I couldn't do these reviews like straight after the trade or anything. So I've had to do this on like when I've come home on my second day, and now I've got a few days off. So, oh, excuse me, do, I'll trade Thursday, Friday morning sessions, and then I'll do a review on the weekend. So, yeah, thanks for watching.